All right, let's get some reaction now from NewsNation political contributor Mick Mulvaney, former chief of staff for President Trump during his first term. Mick, great to have you here. So the White House and the vice president both posted this video. They think it proves their case, does it?
For a third of the country, sure. I mean, look, if you go online, which I did today, and sort of read the comments about these videos.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise it.
Yeah, well, no, but you do, because the far right says that it exonerates them and says they're right, and the far left says it exonerates the woman and says she's right and so forth. But it's not going to solve anything. Look, this was there was a great discussion, by the way, and I really enjoyed watching that as I sat here. But it gets into the legalities. It gets into state law, federal law, policy, all that kind of thing.
Officer training, officer guidelines, yeah.
And that's important in a court of law. But again, I'm here to do politics, and I'm not sure it makes a difference for the people in the middle, the 1/3 of the country who might be swing voters who look at this. They just want to know if it looks right to them. Does this look fair? Does it look just? And I got to tell you, I don't think that it does. I really don't. I mean, I can defend I think I could defend the ICE officer in a court of law, but I'm not sure I want to be a politician out on the campaign defending the action to swing voters, because it just looks bad. There's a rule, by the way, in politics, Elizabeth, that you might be familiar with, which is if you're explaining, you're losing.
Yeah.
And right now, I think the Trump White House is explaining. They need to recognize that there's going to be a lot of people who look at this and say, I don't care about the legalities. I don't care about policy. This woman is dead, and I don't think she should be.
I was struck today, Mick, by Speaker Johnson, who came out and said everyone should just wait for an investigation. Shouldn't the president and the vice president and Kristi Noem be saying the same thing? Shouldn't everybody be saying, let's wait for the facts to emerge?
Everybody should be, including add all those people to that list you just read off. You could add.
I mean, there is nobody more powerful in the world than the President of the United States or the Vice President standing in front of his seal.
Yeah, but the same advice could be given to to Tim Walz, who's a friend of mine, the governor of Minnesota, or the mayor of Minneapolis. Again, so many people who are so politically aligned have already decided what they believe about this, and there's nothing that we're going to be able to show them to change their minds. And I get that. I just think from a political standpoint, there's a large group of people in the middle of this country, left and right, down the center, whatever you want to call them, who look at this and say, you know what, it just doesn't feel right. This is wrong. Yes, she should have complied, but she shouldn't be dead. And I think if you ignore that on the left or the right, then you're missing something.
Is it a smart move for the DHS and the feds to freeze out local and state investigators from this investigation?
Ordinarily, I would say the answer to that would be no, but there's so politically charged right now in Minnesota. If this had happened, say, in Kansas or Arkansas or Nevada, I might give you a different answer to that question. But look, the scandal that is taking place in Minnesota now with the fraud in their benefit system is so dramatic that the sitting Democrat governor, again, I know him very well.
Yeah, but Tim Walz is not going to be investigating. It's the state, police officials.
But he's in charge of the state. I mean, and the mayor's going to be involved. And these are people who really, really, really hate Donald Trump. And there is a concern that there would be bias there. So ordinarily, I would say,
well, isn't there a concern that there's bias on the other side? We have the FBI doing the investigation, controlled by President Trump, who said the agent did nothing wrong. I've
got no response to that, because you're absolutely right. There'll be bias on both sides, and that's really unfortunate.
Maybe you can cancel each other out, Mick, if we have them both working together.
Maybe you get to a point where you can find a blue ribbon commission, bipartisan group, to the extent that exists anymore in this country, to do an investigation. But look, this is really rough, Elizabeth. It just is. There's no good is going to come from it, and we're all worse off for it.
Yeah. It's hard. We need to remember a woman, a mother of 3 children, is dead tonight. Mick Mulvaney, really appreciate your analysis. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.